Hey, it's Bullfrog. Coming back to give a little bit of an update on my mental health situation. And hey, if that doesn't interest you, just go ahead and fuck off, I guess. Now, earlier this week, I went back to the doctor. I've gotten back on medication. I decided that's probably the best thing for me to do. It's been about 7 years since last time I took meds, and for somebody who needs to be on medication, that's 7 years of being off meds. That's kind of extreme when you think about it. But about 7 years ago, the last time I took meds, when I gave up on it the last time, I was thinking I could just deal with this on my own, and I can use marijuana as my medication. And lately, it's just become apparent that I can't deal with this on my own. Taking medication that they will, it helps with my chemical imbalance and the things I can't control. However, at the same time, I have to still put the effort in to try to keep a positive attitude and try to think positively. And when I have negative thoughts, are going to come and go. Now, however, I have to consciously decide to ignore these negative thoughts. For years, though, I just had this. It was like an addiction, though. I always felt this need to just constantly express all this negativity in my mind and spew it out to everybody. Anybody would listen. And when I was younger, I did that a lot, like in person with people I was friends with in person, and all that. And I actually lost friends because of that, though, because I got sick of listening to my bullshit. Like more recently, when I started to socialize with people on Discord, slowly but surely, I started to become more comfortable with expressing those negative thoughts again. I actually quit doing that for a while. When I started to socialize on Discord, since it was just on the internet and I wasn't really speaking to people face to face, didn't realize it, but I was becoming more comfortable with expressing those negative thoughts and everything, and it just kind of like slipped back into that old pattern, and without even realizing it, until people started to tell me stop putting yourself down, stop talking all this shit. Like earlier this week, I just finally got to that point where it's just I got to do something about this. This it has to stop. I don't want to go on going through life, slipping out of depression, living with this crippling anxiety, living with this raging anger, and living with all these negative thoughts in my head. Now, when I get into that pattern of expressing just as much negativity that I could, just expressing those negative thoughts, and it starts this vicious cycle though. When those negative thoughts come up though, and I run with it and I express it and spew it out to everybody, it causes those negative thoughts to just amplify, and it reinforces them. And so instead of doing that though, I'm now making that effort to try to ignore the negative thoughts. And being on medication will also help with the that imbalance in my brain. And so medication can help with that though. However, I still got to put that effort in to trying to think positively. So this is why I needed to step away from Discord for a little bit though, because I was getting too comfortable with expressing all that negativity towards people, and people I was trying to be friends with though, and we're starting to get sick of hearing it. And so I said, well, I should step away from Discord for a few weeks and get back on my medication and come back. And this time, hopefully, I won't slip back into those patterns. So that's why I needed to step away from social media. That's mostly what's going on now. So hopefully, this medication will help. Though it's a little too soon right now to really tell. It can take a couple weeks before any noticeable effects take place. And I'm gonna go back to the doctor again in a few weeks, and we'll assess whether or not I need to increase my medication, perhaps switch to a different one, and do all that though. But however, I'm happy to be on a path towards becoming a better version of Bullfrog though. I'm never going to be normal, nor do I want to be normal. However, the important thing is that I'm on that path towards becoming a better version of myself. And anybody listening out there though, if you yourself have felt like people hate you, or you hate yourself, you feel like just that crippling anxiety and that crippling anger, and you feel like you want to kill yourself, I just want to let you know one thing: Bullfrog knows what you